She stood face to face with the truth and went on living and endured her life then as now. In all our straits, we were better off than she. Of course, we had to leave our house. Brunswick took it on, and we were given this cottage. We brought our things over in several journeys with a hand cart. Barnabas and I pulling, and Father and Amalia pushing behind. Mother was already sitting here on a chest, for we had brought her here first, and she whimpered softly all the time. Yet I remember that even during those toilsome journeys, they were painful too, for we were often met harvest wagons, and the people became silent when they saw us and turned away their faces. Even during those journeys, Barnabas and I couldn't stop discussing our troubles and our plans, so that we often stood stock still in the middle of pulling and had to be roused by Father's "Hello!" from behind. But all our talking made no difference to our life after the removal, except that we began to gradually feel the pinch of poverty as well. Our relatives stopped sending us things. Our money was almost done. And that was the time when people first began to despise us in the way you can see now. They saw that we hadn't the strength to shake ourselves clear of the scandal, and they were irritated. They didn't underestimate our difficulties, although they didn't know exactly what they were, and they knew that probably they wouldn't have stood up to them any better themselves. But that made it only all the more needful to keep clear of us. If we had triumphed, they would have honored us correspondingly. But since we failed, they turned what had only been a temporary measure into a final resolve and cut us off from the community forever. We were no longer spoken of as ordinary human beings. Our very name was never mentioned. If they had to refer to us, they called us Barnabas's people, for he was the least guilty. Even our cottage gained an evil reputation, and you yourself must admit, if you're honest, that on your first entry into it, you thought it justified its reputation. Later on, when people occasionally visited us again, they used to screw up their noses at the most trivial things. For instance, because the little oil lamp hung over the table. Where should it hang, if not over the table? And yet they found it insupportable. But if we hung the lamp somewhere else, they still were disgusted. Whatever we did, whatever we had, it was all despicable.